their bases in Hong Kong so that they can expand their businesses here. And then I would tell them that after 3 years of pandemic, we are developing in the following few areas. We will consolidate our inherent advantages. We are a center of finance, trade, and also a regional hub for dispute resolution. We've also got new strengths in innovation, technology, arts, cultures, creative industries, and sports, and we're also an aviation hub and also a center for IP trading. I'm going to explain to them that because of one country, two systems, we are more attractive than other places because we can benefit from development under the 14th Five-Year Plan and the Greater Bay Area Development and Belt and Road Initiative. These advantages are not enjoyed by other places. So I'm going to lead a team, a delegation, a trade delegation with over 20 representatives to tell the Hong Kong story well and to attract investment to Hong Kong. The delegation will include experts, professionals from the banking and trading and financial sector. They have their own networks, and I will make good use of this opportunity and also the strengths of everyone in the delegation to tell them the advantages we enjoy and to attract them to develop in Hong Kong. I will try to secure ascension to RCEP as far as possible because the regional comprehensive economic partnership will give us good impetus for growth because RCEP involves 1/3 of the world's GDP and under one country, two systems. And because the growth engine is now shifted to Asia with our country as the axle, everyone should know about this and we will tell them our strengths. I now accept questions. Please, a show of hands. And when it's your turn, please identify your media outlet and please ask no more than 2 questions each.
The first one, the journalist on the front. I'm from Now TV. Now, for the rugby match, where a song related to the protests was played, now the organizer said it was an error on the staff. Does the Hong Kong government accept this explanation? Now, the Hong Kong has this criminal mutual assistance agreement with South Korea. Will we ask the South Korean police to help us? Chief Executive, are we giving up on the 0+0 arrangement? Mr. Lo Wen-duan said that we have to have regarding the considerations on the part of central authorities. So if we don't get the green light from the central authorities, does it mean that we will have no hope of getting the 0+0 arrangement? Now, about the playing of the wrong national anthem and instead a song related to the protests and Hong Kong independence, I indicated that I reject this practice and I have made clear our strong dissatisfaction and protest. The police will investigate the matter. Before an outcome is available from the investigation, I will leave the police to do their work. The police are highly experienced in these matters. Now, depending on how the investigation turns out, the police will take the appropriate actions. Now, as to our COVID policy measures, there is much discussion about 0+0 and 0+3. Now, what does 0+0 mean? It means something different to different people. Now, I will not specify what sort of arrangement it is. Is it 0+0 or 0+3? Now, after announcing the 0+3 arrangement, I mentioned in the policy address that we look at different activities, such as those of economic importance or those mega events. There will be targeted arrangements when these events are involved. We also agree that there should be support for travel agencies, such as tour groups. These are targeted measures. Our policy is simple and clear. As long as we keep COVID risks manageable, we try to minimize the restrictions as much as possible. That position is clear. So I will not delve into whether it's 0+0 or 0+3. The point here is that we no longer have centralized quarantine. In managing COVID, we take a risk-based approach. We have to assess the risks in different circumstances. Adjustments are made, and the approach is like what I've said. As long as we keep the risks under control, we allow the maximum freedom for activities. Now, for the mainland COVID measures, the authorities there have to have regard to the circumstances across the country. In the mainland, infection numbers are going up. Under the joint prevention and control arrangements, we have a duty to make sure that we do not add to the COVID risks on the mainland. Under this principle, we are discussing various options with the mainland. So pre-departure quarantine is something that can take into account certainty without increasing COVID risks for the mainland. If this option works out, there's a certain number of people may be able to take part. And if the option works out, then we can consider expanding the scope to make it easier for people to travel to and from the mainland. So this is part of our thinking in our discussions with the mainland, that is to make things easier for people. Next question, on the left, the lady in white.
HK. So on the national anthem mistake in South Korea, because there's another game in Dubai next month, so how can the government make sure the same mistake won't happen again? And are there any new measures to prevent that? And about the NTR accident which occurred at Yalmaty Station, because two similar accidents had already happened within a year. So how will the government better monitor the cooperation to further ensure passenger safety? Thank you.
Well, first of all, I have made my statement very clear yesterday when I met the media in response to the incident about playing not our national anthem at the match, particularly when the song that was played was closely connected to the 2019 violence and disturbances and advocacy for Hong Kong's independence. So we will deal with that case, as I have mentioned. As regards how in future we will respond to a situation where our national anthem is not properly played, then of course we will be examining with the relevant bodies as to how better response can be made. In fact, it is the organizer's responsibility to ensure that all things are run properly. And this, of course, includes the playing of national anthem of any players who have won the match. So it is the responsibility of the organizers. We'll do our best to assist the organizers to fulfill their obligation. But it's important when mistakes are made, when problems arise, we point those problems out, and there is a good investigation to know what actually happened, so that we will deal with the situation accordingly. So I will be asking CSTB to look into this matter together with the sporting community and the organizations, so as to find a way to ensure that improvement can be made in this area. Next question.
On the MTL.
Yeah, okay. Of course, I'm very concerned about the operational safety of MTR because it takes care of the majority of our commuters every day. I think the Secretary for Transport and Logistics have made it very clear that safety is the #1 priority, and there will be a good monitoring system. What we want utmost is, first of all, the company itself to have a good self-monitoring system so that the operational safety is maintained as a very high standard. The government, of course, has the responsibility to monitor the performance, look at the investigative reports to ensure that anything that needs to be properly addressed will be handled appropriately. There is a system which will deal with not just the operating safety, but punishment in case MTR fails to fulfill its obligation. We also are mounting a consultation exercise in connection with how the MTR fares should be considered. So we can also deal with the issues collectively in the consultation exercise.
時間關係咧，我要答今日。
In the interest of time, we will take one more question. The lady in white over there. Good morning, Chief Executive. I'm from Tai Kung Pao. Expo 2035 will start its preparation very soon, and there are experts who suggest that Shenzhen and Hong Kong should host the expo together. I'd like to know the SAR government's position. Will you start a discussion, and do you think there will be agreement for co-hosting this event? Anything that can benefit Hong Kong's position in the international arena and for holding in major events, we remained an open mind. We will keep an eye on various international events, and of course, that include the World Expo. My position is open. Anything that can allow Hong Kong to showcase our vibrancy will allow us to gain excellent experience. I'm confident that Hong Kong can successfully host international major events. So we will keep an eye on all possibilities to give more opportunities to Hong Kong, and we will assess the overall situation, including World Expo, and that include different types of world events. Thank you.